Hello and welcome. I'm Victoria Bond and I'm the creator of Halo Healing. I am a spiritual energy shifter, and what that means is I utilize a whole lot of tools and processes to help people shift through their limitations, break down their barriers so they can show up as their true essence to the world and help shifting things, changing things, and being the unique gift that they truly be. So sharing your genius with the world is what we want to talk about today. Whether you know what that is or whether you don't know what that is, it's really the time right now in 2020 to get curious about what it is that you desire to contribute to the world and to those around you. And this is what this little mini webinar is all about. So at the moment, we are in a pandemic. The world has changed as we know it. This girl here in front of you is behind bars. She is stuck. She is limited. She feels like she has no choice. We have people that have lost their jobs. We have countries that have been through an immense amount of trauma and they've lost many, many lives. Now, even though this girl is behind the bars, she has a choice on how she goes about her situation. We always have a choice. So I'm going to ask you a question now. How do you want to feel in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months from now? Something really massive is happening in our world currently. We are shifting from a 3D dimension into 5D. And what that means is our bodies, our minds, and our spirit will be going through some massive shifts and changes. So here is the thing, your body is shedding right now. You're learning to process in a completely different way. You may be going through a reflection of your upbringing or how you have brought up your own family. You may have experienced extreme exhaustion. You may have experienced rashes, headaches, feeling the detox symptoms like a healing crisis. You may have a need to hide or settle at the moment, and your mind may be overthinking or analysing. But this feeling is necessary for the shift. So this is a time where we are spending time in lockdown with people in our bubble. We are spending time with these people, doing things differently than what we have done before. You may have been busy being busy and now you have some time on your hands, or maybe you've just had a reality check on what is really important to you. You may have lost your job, or you are unable to work at the moment because you before had to be with people or in an office, and now you have to look at a different direction. So the good news is you do not have to try so hard in this 5D reality. So what is happening now is, in the 3D reality, we had to try really, really hard to work, and then we would get paid with money. So it was kind of like a give and take, give and take. The 5D reality is more about that thought going out to the universe and coming back to you tenfold. So whether it is a negative thought or a positive thought, it's going to come back to you even more intense. You will not have to try so hard to create what it is that you're desiring, where a lot of us are still stuck in this 3D way of thinking during this transition. It is really time to start upping your vibration and your frequency. So high frequency thought plus action equals result. So if you think about the Avatar movie, if you've seen that movie before, I truly believe that movie is channeled on some way, because they connect to nature. They connect their hair into the trees, into the animals, and they have a connection to all. Now, this is what we really want to start doing, is connecting more to the souls around us, to the earth, to the sky, to the trees, to the animals. Be you and tap into your unique abilities by being present and nurturing your mind. So when I say nurturing your mind, what I actually mean by that is not thinking. So do not think so much. Thinking gets you into trouble because you overanalyze. So your body's going to go through like a detox, or it may be already. You may notice this, you may not. I, for one, have got a rash on my back and feel the need to drink a whole lot of water right now. And I also have a special drink which is full of antioxidants. So, ask your body, what do I require right now? And then there's the soul. You will be getting downloads when you sleep, downloads when you're being present with the earth, downloads when you're being present with people. So who does this belong to? Return to Center with Consciousness is a tool that is from Access Consciousness. And as we're connecting more to everything in our realities, we also are connecting to the collective as well as our own souls. So that means we are more psychic, more telepathic, and we can actually pick up on other people's feelings, their emotions, their judgments, their considerations more than we have in the past. So by using this tool, it is definitely an essential tool. Who does this belong to? And if it lights up and you feel kind of like a light expansive feeling, you say return to center with consciousness, then it can go back to where it came from, and whoever or whatever it came from can also have that awareness. And then it can keep going and shifting and changing so many different things. So what is happening right now? Our reality is shifting and changing. You know it in every pore of your body, don't you? We will be functioning in a different way from now. The laws of attraction and karma will be shifting. Our density will be lightened. Only the other day, I was walking along and I felt my body was lighter. I felt like I was more light and more transparent, so I didn't feel so dense. Our knowing will be more. So we'll be tapping into more of our knowing, which we already know, but we will be having more access to it. Our connection with spirit will be easier. So like I say, if you're connecting into everything around you, the earth and the animals and the people, it's also the spirits and it's also the light beings. So functioning from more awareness is really going to help us connect with spirit and have more ease, joy, and glory in our lives. Our connection with self and the collective will be stronger. So are you a leader or are you a follower? There is this big highlighted word in the middle and it says fear. So when change comes along, so does fear. Now I call it creative, chaos, creative chaos. So what happens is when we change is everything seems to be chaotic. Everything seems to be crazy, and fear comes in because this seems different to what it was. Oh my goodness, what is going to happen? It's the fear of the unknown. So you may have fear around some of these subjects. Showing up. Now, I know a lot of my clients have fear about showing up, what it means to be showing their face, what it means to be using their words, what it means about changing belief systems. So they believe what they desire, not what they've been told to. The emotions behind this could be guilt. Why would you want to be thriving if others are struggling, let alone be happy? It's an interesting point of view. It's too hard to change. So choosing differently. Judgment. What will people think if you were making money, being happy, growing, changing, shifting, thinking differently? How would you deal with those people that are judging you? Learning and growing. What type of learner were you at school? What was your learning style? What is the fear and emotions holding you back from a new skill set or showing up with your current one? At school, we're in a certain space. We know we're there to learn. We grow up, you hit 25, and then if you haven't been to uni or tech or school, you start really thinking, oh, this is what I was like at school. And personally, for me, I failed everything apart from art. And I think I only got a C in that. So I had to really do a lot of digging and go, okay, I know that I'm dyslexic and my spelling isn't great, neither is my punctuation. But how do I learn? And what is the best way I learn? By listening or watching or doing. How do you function? So, energy. What will happen to your connections with family, friends, society, and with your peers if you choose not to allow them to be the victim? If you didn't feel all of their emotions and didn't align and agree or resist and react. We get on the phone to people and they go, oh, woe is me, oh my God. And there's a lot of that happening right now. We go, oh, you poor thing. We're aligning and agreeing with them. That just creates more, not for the better either. Or we resist and react. We go, you know what, I don't agree with you. That this isn't okay. I don't think that was appropriate. And that's resisting and reacting. So what would happen if you were the energy of space and awareness? And when you're talking to that friend on the phone and you're not aligning and agreeing or resisting and reacting, what can you do to shift the energy right then so they can also change their energy? Leader mindset. If you are choosing to be a leader mindset, what can you create for those people around you as well as yourself? What if in a year's time from now you are thriving beyond what you thought was possible? That is why we don't use our mind so much and we utilize the energy and follow it. So what if you were an inspiration to others? What if you were a leader? What if you chose different and it worked? What if you showed up and people actually liked you? What if you learned new skills and grew in knowledge? What if you helped others shift in your own unique way? What if you backed yourself 100%? What if you trusted the energy and followed that solely? What if you were already enough? What if you knew what your boundaries were with yourself and others? What if you didn't require others to validate you? When we start functioning from a higher frequency, a higher vibration, a higher consciousness, we do not require others to validate us. We do not let people walk all over us, bring us down. And once you start understanding energy and your own feelings about the energy with other people, then you can act accordingly. And the first thing I tell people to do is to know what your boundaries are. Do not let people make you feel less than you truly are, because as you shift and change, and this is where the fear pops in, people are worried that people won't come with them or they will be judged, and that is when you are letting other people tell you what your value is. A leader does not do that. A leader can feel other people's emotions and thoughts and judgments, but they also have that awareness and that expansion to know that it doesn't belong to them and that they are going to follow what is right for them. So what if you could be that leader and bring people up with you? So what do you truly want? Now, there's no right or wrong answer here. How do you want to feel in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months from now? You've got a couple of options here. So you can let the fear take over and feel everybody else's. You might want to lay low and let all of the stuff blow over. You watch the news, feel the pain of others, and experience the full grief of the virus. And that's what a lot of empaths will be doing right now. You tell yourself you have it better than others, so thriving would be selfish. Just take what you need and leave the rest, You know that one day you might be abundant, but you care way too much about other people's feelings and thoughts of you. You build connection by buying into the drama and trauma of others. One day you will show up, but not now. So, on the other side, you could thrive through this pandemic. You showed up as you backed yourself and trusted yourself by following your intuition. You saw the bigger picture and kept taking action. You could hold space for others, but you didn't buy into the panic, the drama, or the fear. You allowed yourself to be healthy, wealthy, and successful. You were a leader and you helped others feel strong. So, releasing, perceiving, and receiving are the 3 pillars that I teach all the time. It is so important to be able to feel your emotions and release them, to perceive the way that you know things are. And that is the way that we learn. And receiving. If you do not have money, if you do not have love or joy, you have a receiving problem. What would it take for us now to drop our barriers, expand out, and receive from everything that is? So developing your unique voice requires discipline. And I mean discipline not as in a limitation, not as in a going without, but as in a strong mindset. Explore your passions and think about your reasons. What is your why? So how are you going to show up in the world? And this doesn't mean you have to do online webinars. It doesn't mean you have to be showing your face 24/7. But how are you going to get your unique voice out there? What is your why? Your why has to be bigger than you. My why has always been about the children of our world now. Why do you think these children are born in this time? Why do you think our kids are just different to us? These children are highly, highly intuitive. These children are gifted. That's why we have so many ADHD and OCD and autism. These children, there's nothing wrong with them. They perceive differently. So what is your why? Get curious about the skill set required for getting yourself out there. Educate and learn. Okay, so how do you learn best? Is it by watching YouTube? Is it by having someone tell you one-to-one? Or is it group coaching? What fits you? I know personally for me, I've done group coaching and that works. But also I've done, having one-to-one coaching for me really works. I can dig deeper. And then rewire your neuro pathways, breaking habits and setting new boundaries, having support and emotional mastery, and releasing your blocks. So this is where you can get the coaching from some way. This is where you do journaling. This is where you start digging deep and looking at yourself and getting curious. So listening, if you can get anything from this webinar, I'm going to say, please, please listen to the earth, listen to yourself, listen to the downloads, listen to your dreams, listen to the awareness. Listening, what does that mean for you? So let go of perfect. For when you're showing up with your genius to the world, you've figured out what you want to do. You're going to go ahead with it. It might be a Facebook page. It might be a book. It might be connecting in certain ways. It may be healing. It may be reading. What is your genius and what really lights you up? Even if you don't have the skill set yet and there's something you would have always loved to do, you're going to have to let go of perfect, guys, because perfect doesn't exist. Action it. Always take action. It is so important to action it. We learn all these things. We watch all these things on YouTube. We do all these courses. We take it in and go, yeah, I've got it. I might just go for a little rest now. It's cool. I'll do something with that one day. Got all these tools in my toolkit. You didn't action it. Action really makes it it solidifies something, it really does. So for instance, if you have started a beautiful Facebook page and you've got a message and you do 3 posts and no one says anything, and you go, oh my God, I suck at this. I can't even do it. No one's even looking at my stuff. I got no traction. Who cares? Do another 3 the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. It's called testing it. Testing is so important. When we test things, what happens is we get an understanding of who is our audience. We get an understanding of what works and what doesn't work. So if you have done posts for a week and nobody has reacted to it, nobody has said anything or posted anything back, then that is great, because this is going to give you an indication of what you need to change and how you can change it. Another thing you can do is you can ask a friend, how did you like my post? How do you think I could better that? And this is a great part of when, if you're a part of a mastermind like I am, I'm with a group of coaches, you know, we post up and go, hey, how do you guys like my post? And then we can easily say, oh, absolutely loved it. A little bit of a pop of color here, or I got a bit bored. It felt like there was too much there. And this is about having constructive criticism, because that's how we grow. You know, that's our parents told us, don't do that or do this, and that's how we grew. So it's the same type of thing. Instead of trying to be perfect off the bat, you know, this is a process that we have to learn. We've got to, then we have to adjust it and go, okay, cool, that didn't work. I tried this for a month and it did not work. And rather than beating myself up, I'm just going to change it up. I'm going to change my type of style of post. I'm going to change my colors. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do a Facebook Live or whatever it might be. So action it, test it, and then adjust it. This is something I did not know. And when I learned it, I thought, oh my goodness, now I can stop beating myself up. If you have got 2 or 3 platforms, so you've got Instagram, a Facebook group, and a Facebook page, and you're posting 3 posts per day on each platform, you know, that's a good thing, because remember, your client might only see one of those posts. Your audience might only see the Instagram and they might have missed the Facebooks. So just remember, we scroll through so fast, and depending on when people are online is when they're going to see it. If this person is a loyal client of yours and they absolutely love what you have to say, they're not going to mind seeing it a few times. So just don't go into too much judgment about that. Just test it and then adjust. So guys, this is some of the feedback that I got after doing my Release Your Blocks program. This is just a couple of snapshots from some conversations. This is like not even my testimonies. I think one on the right hand side is my testimony, and the rest is just snapshots. So, you know, I just wanted to share with you, this stuff can really pay off once you have got an idea of what it is that your voice is, and then you can actually get coaching with someone like myself or other coaches out there to help them. They can help you go, okay, cool, let's get some structure around how you can show up, how you can find your perfect audience. Where are they? What is your niche? How are you going to show up and, you know, really get your unique voice out there? And for someone like myself, and this is me here, if you don't know me, I had never ever used a computer, but my passion and my purpose and my mission was so strong, even though I do have some like things like dyslexia, which it's not extremely on the high end of dyslexia, but you know, I've been blown down a few times and people have gone, Victoria, oh my God, look, you just can't even spell it. And I get mocked. And then now I just like laugh and I go, no, I can't. But I showed up, because something is better than nothing. And if people do not want to follow me, that is their choice. They have a choice. And I have not once had a troll, so to speak, where someone's come up and gone, oh, I don't even like what you're sharing. What are you up to? I've never ever received that. And I'm sure I will. And I'm ready, because I'm going to be in awareness, and I'm willing to receive every type of judgment as well as compliments, because the truth is, if I can help others see how beautiful and incredible they are, then everything I do is worth it. So as you can see here, people are saying their lives have been changing. You know, so they are changing their lives with the tools and processes that I've given them. I can be the space for people. I can help them show up in a way by limiting their beliefs, by breaking down those barriers of their limited beliefs, and showing up in a way that they may not have done before because they were told that they couldn't, or it just didn't. They didn't think that they were special, because everyone is special, and that is the truth. So this is the type of stuff that I do personally, and this is the type of stuff that you could do, or you could even get coaching for, and then you could replicate something like this. So I've done the Release Your Blocks program. It was an 8-week program, and I baited it twice. So I filled up my programs 2 times over, and I had these amazing people that went through my program to give me feedback on how I could shift it. I changed it to a 12-week program because there was just so much content and so much stuff going on in that. So these guys required a longer amount of time. So I actually gifted them more time on top of the program so they could keep going with the support. So this is something that people are really requiring right now. And I highly recommend everyone does this program. And if you're a person and you're a coach and you want to do something like this, I highly recommend that you create programs for other people. Now, my latest program that I've put together is a practitioner business transformation. It's an online practitioner business transformation program. So what this happens is, it's time to take your genius online into the digital space. I had never used a computer before. 2 years ago was the first time I even looked at a computer. I was so petrified of them. I don't know why, but I was. So I did a lot of connection with my computer, and I've learned it. And even though I'm not massively tech savvy, there's some basic things that you can do to show up. You do not need anything fancy. And one-on-one coaching is something else I do also, where I have clients where every 2 weeks we have a 1.5 hour coaching session. They have access to me daily, so I can help them shift through the emotions so they can have emotional mastery, they can have breakthroughs, and they can show up to the digital space in their unique abilities and let their voice be heard. So if any of these things, a Release Your Blocks, a practitioner business transformation online workshop, or the one-on-one coaching feels light and expensive to you and you'd like to do more work with me, please feel free to book a call. Now I'll put the link in here below for my calendar, or private message me. And I offer these free clarity calls to see where you're at and see what we could do together, because for me, my mission is to get your voice out there, for you to show up. And I understand that that is probably the hardest thing that you'll ever do in your life for some of you. It certainly was for me. And now that I've done it, I really would like to help others do the same thing, however that looks. So thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this webinar. If you do have any questions, then please message me. If you have if anything really sparked you and you had any awarenesses, then please message me. If there's anything you didn't agree with and you would love to talk about it, then please message me. Thank you so much for your time. You have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you shortly.